Anita.
Okay, so I'm just going back to my notes. Short-term strategy. I would like, I plan to reach out to my sphere, um, making at least 10 phone calls per day. And there are other ways I want to reach out as well. I taught myself calligraphy years ago, so I love writing notes. So I want to do 10 calls a day, 10 notes per day. Um, I also have created a presence on Facebook, and I've generated a lot of, well, I've added to my sphere um, in the Facebook community. And so I allocate maybe an hour per day just responding to everyone. And I've actually gotten referrals that I had to pass along. Um, and that's something else I'm going to do in the short term. I have people who are waiting for me to get my Maryland license because they want to work with me. And normally I just pass them along, but they don't want another agent to work with. They want to work with me. So this next week, I'm going to focus on working toward and obtaining my Maryland license. And one thing I noticed, I would have more opportunities to host open houses in Maryland than DC, many more opportunities, because I see those offers all the time. So that's what I'm doing in the short term. In the long term, again, I'd like to, when I'd like to focus on expireds. I plan to focus on expireds. I plan to continue focusing on social media because, again, I'm getting some really good connections there, good building good relationships. And I want to network. I was networking with investors and other realtors interested in investing pre-COVID. I'd like to do that. I'm going to have to find a way to do that post-COVID. Of course, there's online, and there are some groups meeting up in mostly Maryland and Virginia, but I'm still
Okay.
looking for that. So networking, circle prospecting, and expireds long term, and my Facebook prospecting.
Okay. Um, really good. You got a lot going on there, Lenita. Let's break that down a little bit if we could. So you said 10 phone calls a day. Is
Right.
that 10 conversations or is that 10 attempts at a conversation?
That's 10 conversations with people in my sphere.
Perfect. So what I heard you say for your short-term strategy would be maybe call it your 10-10-1, which would be 10 conversations, 10 calligraphy notes, and 1 hour of responding in your Facebook.
Right. It was 10-5-1, but 10-10-1 is easy, is doable as well.
Well, I mean, I'm using your numbers. Is it 10 or is it
Right,
5?
right.
I'm okay with either, as long as you
I,
commit to it.
I'm actually better with 10, but my goal is to to communicate with as many people as possible.
Okay. So to me, that would be your short-term strategy, 10-10-1.
Yes.
All right. Now, of the things that you said for the long-term strategy, there's only actually one of them that's a long-term strategy, which is the networking.
The networking, right. Well,
Yeah.
true. The license,
Because what
I think,
because I think what you were saying is I'm not going to quite call expired yet or call circle prospecting yet. So that's why that went into a long-term box.
and the reason I did that is because I'd like to get started with the
Yeah.
conversations and the prospecting doing that.
Yeah. All right. We're on the same page. Yeah. We're perfect here. So let's just cross those off the list because that's not a long-term lead generating strategy. That's a short-term lead generating strategy that you intend to implement in the future.
All right. Okay.
Is that accurately said?
I understand. Yes, yes. And I think it might even be a better, it might be better then in the future as opposed to right now with regard to expireds.
Well, I'm open to you doing it today, right? But if you implement it today, an expired is probably should be a short-term strategy. I
I
mean,
understand.
anything can be long-term, right? But it's like you're looking for business today.
Right. And circle
Uh,
prospecting is definitely a long-term.
maybe. I'm looking for business today when I'm calling.
Circle
So
Okay.
prospecting, you can get both.
yeah, I mean you can
Hmm.
get both.
You can get today business. You can get today
Yeah,
business and tomorrow.
yeah. So you can get both, and because you can get both, I'm looking for today. Because if I'm going to focus my brain on tomorrow or today,
Hmm.
I want a cucumber today, not a cucumber
Right.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Um, so do you want to circle prospect and call expireds now, today? Or do you
No.
want to, okay. So your plan then is 10-10-1 for
Right.
your short term and networking for your long term. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. So then I heard you say that you're not currently networking. So then, so the question would be like, what can we do to get you networking now for that long-term plan, which is going to be digital, virtual?
Right. I belong to several meetup groups.
Yeah,
I've got that. Um, I'm trying to find a Toastmasters group to belong. I've attended 2 meetings. I'm trying to decide which one. That's something I can do
perfect.
now.
Okay. How many Toastmasters will you visit in the next 30 days?
Well, I've visited 2. Um,
Uh-huh.
I'm mostly visiting those that will have not only in-person meetings, but online meetings if necessary.
Yeah,
Not all of them are.
yeah.
And so I thought
So how
about
many will you
visiting
visit?
more. I thought about visiting 2 more.
Is that how many you'll visit in the next 30
So,
days?
yeah, and so that will be a total of 4.
Okay. So by when will you decide on the Toastmasters that you'll join?
After the 4th one,
Okay. And you'll give yourself 4 weeks from now to visit the next 2?
I'm going to start today and see which ones are available. And it may be 4 weeks because they meet every other
Yeah.
week. So depending
Yeah.
upon when they meet, I'm going to start today to
Okay.
see what's available.
All right. So then your networking strategy is your long term, and you can start with that with Toastmasters. Would you have a game plan on what you need to do, which is to visit 2 more in the next 30 days, and then at the end of the second one, you would have visited 4. You make a choice of which one you're going to do.
Right. Yes.
All right, fantastic. So you feel comfortable? You got a good plan then?
I do feel comfortable. I'm
Perfect.
excited actually. What do you think about
Good.
the Maryland licensing?
Oh,
I have a,
thank you for reminding me on that. That would be not a lead generation strategy. That would be that's a logistical type thing.
okay. I've got a former client who wants to sell a property in Chevy Chase and another
Yeah.
who wants to buy a property in Maryland. And they're just waiting for me. Otherwise, I would refer them.
Here's the thing. Get your Maryland license, okay? But you have to understand and have a clarity on what's what. Getting your Maryland license is not lead generating,
Right.
okay? Get your Maryland license so then you can get that listing and that buyer. And I'd get that within as quickly as possible, right?
Right.
Okay. But you have to understand your job. Just like we're getting our shirts buttoned up and our ties or
Right.
a blouse, it's a nice pretty blouse, and we're going to the
Right.
office tomorrow.
Right.
So today we're going to the store. Tomorrow our job is for you 10-10-1. That's your job. So
Mm-hmm.
that goes before the Maryland license.
Right.
And
That's
so
going to
now
be
you
an
can
even.
framework it. Yeah, because otherwise it's easy to sit there and say, well, I'm doing this to get business. This is what I should be doing. Yeah, I do it, but do it second.
Right. Absolutely.
Does that make sense to you?
It does.
And do it as quickly as possible. But your job is 10-10-1.
Right. Okay.
All right. So everyone feels that you guys got a good setup now?
Mhm.
Awesome. All right. So, well, before I share the screen. So now we all have a clarity on what our on what our game plans are. Go ahead, Ephraim.
Outside? Oh, so sorry. So sorry. I was there talking to my boy.
Oh, okay. That's
You're
okay.
whining. I'm so sorry. I was
You
on
know,
mute.
when people say they're whining, I just think they're talking about me. So it's good.
So sorry, guys.
You're good, man. You're good. All right. All right. So we all have a plan now. And we all, and so Flourish was about setting up a foundation of us living a life by design, living the very best version of ourselves. We all agree that that's what we want, correct? Okay. And so now that we have that plan in place, now we know like what's our job. And now that we know what our job is, now we're going to go out and do it starting tomorrow. Why would we say we're going to start our job tomorrow instead of waiting until we're ready to start our job?
Get you in
Because we
action.
may never started.
Because the job starts tomorrow.
All right.
Just like if you're going to get your suit and your tie ready, guess what? Your job starts tomorrow. Show up or you don't get the job. Can we approach it like that? All right. So whatever we need to do today to get ready for our job tomorrow, we're going to do it. You guys good with that? All right. Awesome.